You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in absolutely beautiful Northport, Florida. I have a very special guest in the house, and it's Laura Ansel. Laura, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Laura,
Can you hear me?
if you can hear me, I'm going
I
to try
can
to
hear
log
you.
back out, log back in here real quick. We're doing that.
For John's audience, we're doing a test with his phone because we are actually, Laura, we're going to be streaming live for the parade.
We
Now,
are.
John, yes, we are. And John's doing a test, and evidently it's kind of failing right now, but I'd rather have it fail for his show than
Hey,
doing the parade.
we're
And
working
we're
out the
going to have,
bugs.
yeah, and we're actually going to have multiple devices. Can you hear us now, John? John, take out your earplugs. Take out your things out of your ear. Yeah, take those off. Can you hear us? Well, anyhow, Laura,
We'll talk, Louie.
yeah, we're going to talk right now.
Let's
Well,
do that.
John is trying to do the tech stuff. Laura,
Yes.
tell me a little bit about the parade and why I should be excited. And also, if you don't want to show up and do the crowd thing, what are you going to be able to do this year?
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you asked. So we are just simply thrilled that this year we are once again able to meet in person and do our annual Poinsetta events. So for those who don't know, we have a tradition here in Northport on the first Saturday in December. We host our annual Poinsetta Parade and our Poinsetta Festival. And our Poinsetta Parade is presented by Quality TV. It runs down Sumter Boulevard and ends at the City Center Front Green, where we're hosting our Poinsetta Festival, which is presented by Achieva Credit Union. And the Poinsetta Festival runs from 4 to 8:30 p.m. The parade itself will kick off at 5 o'clock. And both of these events are just a really fun way to ring in the holidays. I mean, you want to talk about things to do. We have the parade itself. We have a community stage, and we're going to have great performances throughout the evening from a lot of really talented local artists. We have bounce houses. We have a kid zone. We have the band 60 West that's coming in to perform. And then we also have a ceremony every year with our tree lighting ceremony. So the tree lighting ceremony is just a really special way to kick off the holiday season here in Northport. Our city commissioners and other dignitaries will gather on stage to flip the switch and celebrate the start of the holiday season. And it's a pretty magical moment. So just so many things to do. For those who are looking for it, we also have Santa. So Santa Claus will be in the first floor of City Hall. So those who would like to grab a picture can come by, say hi to him, grab a candy cane from the elves, snap the picture. We also have a kids workshop and face painting activity that is presented this year by the Northport Art Center, and that's going to be hosted inside the Mullen Activity Center. We have all kinds of merchandise vendors. We're going to have a coloring activity courtesy of the Kiwanis Club. I mentioned the bounce houses and the kids zone, but we also have a lot of food. So there's a lot of merchandise vendors, a lot of food vendors, basically just a lot of holly jolly fun. So for anyone who's looking to have a good time, December 4th, that's this Saturday. The festival starts at 4 o'clock. The parade kicks off at 5, and we kind of put a pause on the festival activities to watch the parade, and then it resumes and runs through 8:30.
So how much work did this take to get everything started?
Months and months and months of work. So John chuckled a little when he asked that question, because he and I have talked about this quite often.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people may not realize is the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes to make activities and events like this happen. We meet not just as the Parks and Recreation Department, but with departments across the city for all of what we call our signature events. So those events are our large ones, such as the 4th of July, the Trick or Treat event, and this particular Poinsetta Festival and Poinsetta Parade. to meet and discuss all of the logistics and the details that go into it, the traffic plans, the map, the layout, security concerns, and we have trainings and discuss potential scenarios and how we would respond to those. Of course, I can't delve into too much detail on those types of things that we cover, but with the recent things that have happened up in Wisconsin and the events there, I think it's important for people to know that this is something that we look at, that we train for months in advance before a major event. And we do have plans in place to respond should an emergency situation arise. So it takes a lot of work, and it's not just Parks and Rec, it's a lot of departments across the city. But at the end of the day, what we have is a really fantastic opportunity for our community to come together, to really feel the identity of Northport and who we are, and to celebrate together. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So we're really excited that COVID played nice this year and we're allowed to do it and we can gather. Unfortunately, it just, derailed our plans last year. So I think we're all just excited to have a little bit of normalcy and a little bit of celebration this year.
Well, and you had a little bit of extra time to plan this out because of COVID, right?
We did. I mean, we have some things. It's funny. We have, kind of a blueprint. Fortunately, Poinsetta is an event that we've done and has evolved. This has been happening in Northport for many, many years. So
aren't we 60 now?
We are 60. I think we almost 60. Are we 60 or 61? We're close.
I think we're coming to 61 next year, right?
I believe so, in August. I know August is the birthday. I'll have to go back and reread my book.
Carrie said we're 60.
Oh, today. I believe her.
And I said, not me, just the city.
Fair enough.
But so, I don't have much of a chance of catching up with the city. But
yeah,
we are growing, and we've done this for many, many years. And so template was set out. But it just keeps getting better each year too, right?
It does. And, we're really excited this year. We've really been fortunate to have a lot of great organizations come on to partner to deliver some of these different aspects of the event, right? So I talked about our sponsors. Thank you so much, Quality TV and Achieva Credit Union. They've sponsored this for multiple years, and we are so grateful to them both. We have in-kind sponsors who step in to chip in as they can. So the Atlanta Braves have some prize baskets for, our parade participants can receive awards based on their designs of the float. Our theme is the retro rockin' holidays. So we have an award, for like the best encapsulation of the theme, the best use of poinsettias. There's a few different awards, and they were kind enough to contribute some prizes for the folks who win that. We have Home Depot, Lowe's Home Improvement, who contribute all kinds of different things from poinsettias to a mailbox for Santa, Sarasota County and Tropical Smoothie Cafe and the Walmart Neighborhood Market. They've been wonderful to work with. And then we also have community partners. So these are folks who volunteer their time, their efforts, supplies, or put on kind of a component of the event. And so we have Imagine Young Marines who are going to help collect our cans for candy throughout the night. We have employee volunteers from the city who do a food drive and a toy drive at this time of year during the days of giving. And so we have a cans for candy cane, cans for candy canes. I forgot the S. And right. So anyone who is willing, it's completely optional, but we do encourage the community to bring a canned food good. We'll collect it at various places throughout the event, throughout the night. And all of that money goes to local food pantries to help our community folks who maybe need a little hand in getting some nice food for the holidays. Cool. So that's a great, great aspect of this event. We have the Kiwanis Club who have their holiday greeting cards, and then we'll also be having a coloring activity available next to the Kids Zone. We have the Northport Art Center, who I mentioned the face painting and the craft activity that's happening inside Mullen. We're really thrilled to work with Dee and the fantastic group over there and see what they've got going on and get a little artsy with our holidays. And then, of course, WKDW. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the radio station who is helping us with PSAs before the event. You guys are going to be there doing some live streaming the night of and helping us with announcements. So anyone who is perhaps uncomfortable, would prefer to watch from a distance, or who would like to still enjoy the show from home, You're more than welcome to tune in. If you save the Poinsetta event that's out on Facebook, or if you follow WKDW, you'll be able to watch a live stream of the parade, get updates throughout the evening of all the activities and things that are going on. You can also follow us on Facebook. It's at Northport Parks and Rec. We'll be posting updates and video there as well. So you can still enjoy some of the fun without necessarily needing to come in person and deal with the traffic and the crowd. So stay tuned there. We also have Northport High School Theater. They are producing a radio show for the community stage, which is going to be super fun little some entertainment there. We have the Rock Box Music School and Stage. We're going to be rocking it out before the parade starts. And we
Sweet.
have Universal Dance Studio, who will be doing a performance as well. So that's a very long list of people who are all coming together to kind of showcase Northport, the talent that's here, and who are coming together to make this just a really festive and fun a night for everybody.
That's quite the timeline you got.
I know. Do you see?
How much energy do you guys have left after just getting it all organized?
I mean, I need a few coffees.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people take for granted sometimes the amount of energy that you spend getting to the date, let alone any other time. When you run a big event and you plan it all year long, there's a lot of moving parts, and you've got a lot of meetings. I mean, WKDW, we were at City Hall once already this week or last week. And got everything set up. We've got another run through this week with you guys. And then the night or day of, I know we just met again at WKDW and went over some really new equipment. So I have to, step back for a second. We've been on the air about 11 minutes. We've got some new technology working right now on this show, really making it making myself a little more mobile for the radio show in the future. So we actually have on my iPad and on my iPhone downloaded the whole entire system at the radio station. And so I have really mobile parts at this point, and it's really what you guys do each year with advancing the parade. WKDW, we're trying to advance with it with new technology also, and try to create a different vibe for a radio station, so to speak, because we're doing YouTube, we're doing Facebook, and we're doing My Page Live. All these things are moving parts, but it's really because the city's not slowing down, and we're not going to slow down. And the partnership that we have, forging new ground every year. It just seems like something new is available, whether it be in technology or with what you guys are doing. And it's because you have the fortitude to look ahead. And you have a team full of people who look ahead.
Well, we have a community that rallies too. I mean, I appreciate everything you said there, John, and thank you so much. It's I think we're very fortunate to be in a very quickly growing community, and there's a lot of folks here who just want to always get better and do better, and not just in the city and in our department, but as you mentioned, around the community. And we're really lucky to have partners, sponsors, and folks who just want to come together and provide, a fantastic event for everyone to enjoy. And I think it's even more important, we've all come through COVID. We've all gone through, it's been a rough year and a half, couple years for a lot of people. And I think this is just a great opportunity for us to all just take a collective breath together and celebrate the things, the good things that we do have to celebrate in this community. And I think we have quite a long list of those. So
with everybody who's going to get there, what time do you think they should all arrive?
That's a great question. So the festival starts at 4. We will be shutting down Sumter at 3:30 p.m. So I do encourage anyone who hasn't looked at our traffic plan. We released that last week. It's available on our website. It's cityofnorthport.com/Poinsetta. So I'll say that again, cityofnorthport.com/Poinsetta. Poinsettia. We have our traffic plan out there. We have parking available here at City Center, but those lots will be closed down at about, once Sumter's closed down at 3:30 or as soon as they're full. We're going to be shutting those down. There'll be some additional parking available. The Walmart Neighborhood Market was kind enough to allow us to use their parking lot, so you can park there and then cross at the, please use the crosswalk. You can cross at the crosswalk there to join the festivities, or you can park at the Morgan Family Community Center. We have a free community shuttle that starts at 3:30 p.m. And that will run roughly every 10 to 15 minutes. So you can park over there at the Morgan. There's plenty of parking over there. Hop on the shuttle and come over and join in on the fun. And then there's also, of course, if you're just interested in watching the parade, you can tune into us. You can tune into WKDW. Or there's also a map that showcases where you can sit. There's a green line. I don't know if Marie, if you can pull up that map. It's on the City of Northport website. But there's a green line along Sumter that you can watch, where you can set up your seating all along Sumter and watch the parade itself. Please do not sit in the medians for your safety. We will have those closed off. So no one's going to be allowed to sit in the median of Sumter Boulevard to watch the show and stuff. It's just not safe with all the traffic and people going on in the parade floats. So we do have that marked on our map, the area where you can sit and enjoy the show.
And stress the sitting areas again. Go over that one more time, because there are some safety issues for people to be walking the streets, correct?
That is correct. So as I had mentioned, we will be shutting down Sumter Boulevard at about 3:30 p.m. So I would really encourage you to take a look at the map that we have out at the cityofnorthport.com / Poinsetta website. We also have it available on our social media channels. We've shared it out there. We've tweeted it, so you should be able to find it there. But you will notice that if people are traveling down, oh, hey, Marie's pulling it up. Marie, you're a gem. So if you go down a little further under the traffic, here we go. So for the folks who are listening, I'm sorry you won't be able to see this, but if you go to the website, so Marie, a little bit further down, there should be an image on that page. There we go. So as you see, we have this.
What website do they need to go to?
This is the cityofnorthport.com / Poinsetta. So cityofnorthport.com / POINSETTIA. And we have the event schedule out there. We have the activities that you're going to be able to find. And we have this lovely map where you'll be able to see kind of the parade route, and then also an event map route that kind of shows you where things are going to be located happening at the City Center campus. And you'll notice there is that green line just to the right of the parade route. So the candy cane stripes is the parade route traveling down Sumter, starting at about Sylvania. So we stage a little bit higher up the dots. You don't need to worry about. That's where people are going to be staging. But then the parade starts right at Sylvania and Sumter, and we encourage the audience to sit along. As you'll see that line, that green line along there, that will be spectator viewing. So please do not view. That's going to be the best location for you to view the parade itself. And you'll see as it turns onto City Hall Boulevard, which is that turn right in front of the police station that leads to City Hall, it opens to both sides of the street for you to sit at. So we have viewing all along there, and that's really going to give you the best view of the show. So we ask that you stay there. Please, as I said, don't use the median. We've had folks in the past who have dropped off their children and then left to go somewhere else. So we do ask that if you stay with your kids, come and enjoy it. It's a family-friendly event, so this is a perfect time to make some memories with your kids. And lots of fun activities at the City Center campus. So you can see we have a judges stand that is located next to that number 5. So that's where our Poinsettia Parade judges. And we have 3 of them. We have Michelle Collette with Achieva. We have a member of our PZAB board, I believe is Mark Murphy. And I'm missing someone. Oh, Joan Morgan. So yes, so those will be our judges this year.
That was a good save.
Thank you. I got there. I was like, the brain is a little fried after all the turkey I had this last weekend. So, but it's going to be great. We'll run it through there, and then gathering at the City Center Green, you'll see that we have the stage where you'll find the live music and entertainment. That's where we're going to be doing the ceremony items. We'll have the tree lighting, and inside City Hall, we have the Visit with Santa on the first floor. On the second floor, we have a gingerbread house People's Choice contest. So people have entered gingerbread houses that they've designed, and you can go and take a look at them. They're on the second floor. Donna and Michelle have done a beautiful job decorating City Hall for the holidays. So enjoy the decorations, vote for your favorite gingerbread house. And then we'll be announcing the winners of that and the parade at the community stage the night of the event. We have a kids zone that's going to have bounce houses and inflatables and other activities and games. That's number 9 on the map. And next to that will be the Kiwanis Coloring Station. And then we also have a whole bunch of shops and little merchandise booths to visit. That's along 7. That's a row of little merchandise booths. We'll have all kinds of food vendors on site. And inside the Mullen, the George Mullen Activity Center at number 10, you'll be able to find the kids workshop. And that's the one that the Art Center was so kind to help us with. They're going to have some face painting and other holiday activities that you can do in there and crafts. So that's
sounds like a really cool setup.
You know what? It's going to be a fantastic evening. The shuttle drop-off, for those who are wondering, is by our fire station. So it's in between where the parade will end. There's like a little vehicle there. You see it next to the fire station. The shuttle to and from the Morgan will be dropping off there and picking up throughout the night. So, yeah, I do encourage, use that shuttle. It's actually not that bad a ride. It's a quick flight, a quick little ride over, and who doesn't love going on the school bus? I mean,
it is. And it's probably going to be a quicker way out.
It will, yeah, for sure. You know, when you park over at Morgan, you get the option of some more right turns, and so it's a quick exit for there. So, yeah, I would encourage folks to use that as much as possible. And for anyone who is parking next door with our good friends at Walmart, I do ask that you just be a good neighbor, because they're still going to be open. And that's true of most of the folks in our area here. You know, Waffle House, Taco Bell, the other stores and restaurants that are in our general area are still operating. And so please just keep that in mind and be good neighbors and respectful of those businesses as they try to do what they do.
If you're gonna eat, go pay for parking by going inside and feeding your family.
There you go.
That's how I look at it.
Bring it to me. You'll know where to find me, right, John? We'll be out there. We're going to be hungry.
So I'm going to ask Marie, can you do a quick sound check on the radio station? I just want to make sure the technology.
I have, but your phone is crackling a little bit on our end, right, Laura?
Yeah, I hear a little crackle.
Yeah, you're crackling a bit on your end, but the radio station, I had brought it up. Actually, I can have Alexa tell Alexa play WKDW 97.5 FM.
John, I thought your voice was just rough because you were still sad over the Buckeyes.
No, I got over it really quick.
Ooh,
because I told the Michigan fans, the 20 Michigan fans that were there at our tailgating event at Twisted Fork.
Yes.
Which did by the way, Twisted Fork did a heck of a job. Bert, CJ, and Heidi absolutely killed it. We all had Bert from Black Widow come on stage and lead some cheers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Obviously, we didn't cheer enough, but the fact that we had 209 people for breakfast and 410 people for the football game.
That's awesome.
And there were good Michigan fans there. We just want the Big Ten to go on and continue to win. I know your team's playing Michigan this week.
We are, yes.
If you guys beat them, do you know what the end result of that means?
I'm assuming a better bowl game.
Well, you would get a better bowl game, but the Big Ten would have no representation in the playoff.
Yeah.
That'd
be a shame.
So I told the Michigan fans, you got to go.
I'm with you. I always put Big Ten first. You know,
anymore.
if it can't be my team, I just want it to be someone from our conference. You know.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That's what
so
I
I'll
told
be a
them.
nervous wreck next Saturday for more
congratulations.
reasons than just the parade. I'm going to be like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, they actually they dominated, and I give them full credit. They came in with a one heck of a great game plan, and they put it to us,
Yeah.
and they deserve to win. And a lot of the Michigan fans that have been posting stuff that are not good sportsmen, I'll just remind you, you're 1-5.
Yeah.
And you're going to be 1-6 next year because we're going to win at our house next year and take the momentum back. But
fair enough. We'll have a watch party with our two fan clubs. So John's referring to, I'm a member of the Hawkeye fan club here in Florida. So we'll need to bring the Ohio fans and the Hawkeye fans together to have a fun time.
We could do that. So it's all about a good time, and it's all about fun.
It is.
And at the end of the day, the beauty is everybody's getting along. The Michigan fans, we actually had Michigan prizes to give away.
Oh, that's fun.
So if they won a raffle prize, they actually got a Michigan prize.
That's awesome.
So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. Our event was one and done. It's one time a year. Although we do it for every football game, not that size. That's why I talked about what you guys do as a team, because this is a bigger event because you're combining so many different departments. Can you talk about and really highlight the organization that goes into this, from the police department, the fire department, public works? You've got and even the radio station.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pulling the radio station in, you're pulling in commissioners, you're doing all kinds of things, let alone the fact that now you're pulling in the public and you're trying to control the crowd. You're trying to give them a venue to come to. Talk about all those things.
No, I'm glad you asked. So we follow a system we call it ICS internally, but that stands for Incident Command. And that's a type of system that basically what it sets up is we have a centralized command system where each of the departments that is involved with making something of this magnitude happen has a representative in a centralized hub. And that way the communication lines are open. So it's really what it's meant to do is to make sure that when somebody who's outside on the event floor can call in to someone and say, hey, I see this is happening, and they can get a quick response. And then everybody from all the departments are on the same page from the beginning. And so that's a real brief. I think, if people really want to delve into the nitty gritty, our emergency manager is a fantastic resource. That would be a really fun show for you probably, John, because ICS can scale up or scale down depending on the size of the response and what's happening. And it can be used for events such as this and the planning of the community events, but it's also used for emergency response, such as when hurricanes come through or we have things like the flooding. We activate these types of communication systems. So we start meeting right after the 4th of July. So for example, I'll use Poinsetta since that's what we're talking about, but we have an ICS team that meets for 4th of July. And then the moment 4th of July is over, we roll that right into Poinsetta. And starting to talk about that. And then we have a separate group that meets and also does ICS. It's pretty much the same people with a few minor changes for trick or treat as well. But we run an ICS for each one of our major events. And so we start meeting at least 6 months in advance, and we go through a SWOT of the previous year. One of our first meetings is we take the community feedback. We have surveys that we run at each of our events. Individually, we as a department representative kind of provide the feedback of, oh, this went really well from a Parks and Rec perspective, but this not so much. Police does the same of, hey, from a traffic perspective or a security perspective, this was really great. This was not so much. And so we just kind of highlight the things that went well and things that we should take into consideration in the future. And then we put all of that together and review it as a team and incorporate it into our plan for this year. So then we put together a permit. So, as a city, we are not exempt from having to fill out the permits and following the special event process that anybody else who wants to conduct an event here in the city would have to do. And so we fill out our permit. We have to put together a site plan and a narrative of what we plan on doing and what we're going to provide and how. And then we continue to meet monthly. We slowly start to ramp that up the closer the event comes. So we start meeting monthly, then we start meeting biweekly, and then right before the event, we start meeting weekly to make sure everybody's ready and on the same page. There's some forms that we need to fill out of who's going to be there, the resources that are required. So we use these meetings to do things like say, we need to block off the medians along Sumter Boulevard so people, can know where they can sit and where they can't, so that we can ensure that they're safe. And so that's part of the traffic plan. But then we need Public Works to provide the snow fencing, and they need to make sure that it's up by a certain date and time. And so that's part of what these meetings are done. So it's a chance for us as Parks and Rec to say, hey, we need this. Public Works says we'll provide this, and police to know, okay, this will be up by this time. So from a safety perspective, we've got that taken care of. Right. So that's just a small example of the types of things that we're talking about at these meetings is, we identify something, we go over the plans, we review them multiple times to make sure everyone's on the same page. And then we make sure that everyone knows where they need to be and when. And so that way everyone knows what resources they have, what they're responsible for to make this event happen, and who they need to call if that's something that's not, within their realm or something that needs to be taken care of. Then we also do additional training. So we recently had a tabletop exercise, and this was a really fantastic exercise where we came together as ICS and we ran through scenarios of, if this emergency situation happened, how would we respond? If this emergency situation happens at Poinsetta, and we actually put the event map up on the screen, and we have the ICS representatives, we're all there around the table, and we pretend that it's a real life scenario, and we walk through how we're going to respond in case something does happen. And that is a fantastic training, and it's a good opportunity for us. Sometimes when you're in one part of the world, you don't realize all of the resources and the things that another group has to take into consideration. And so it's a really great chance for us all to get a little insight into what fire rescue deals with and how they respond and what they're responsible for versus when police would arrive on the scene and take command. So it's a really great exercise. So kudos to our emergency manager who puts that on. It was a really great training session. So we've held that already. And then we walk that through. So this week we're actually doing, I believe Marie or you mentioned it, we're doing a walkthrough. So our staff who are responsible for this event, we've just gotten, I'll show you the fun list. So those on the radio are going to miss out, but we have staff assignments.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is this week of who's doing what and when and what we're all responsible for and who's going to do different parts to make sure that things are where they need to be when they need to be there. And so we send that list out so all our staff are on board, and then we'll walk through it. So we'll actually go and take our volunteers and our staff who are working the event and walk through, here's the parade route, here's where it's traveling, here's where you're going to need to be and when that night of. And that's just kind of like a little dress rehearsal that gears us up for the big event. And we call in our community partners. So for example, we're calling in you guys for our parade walkthrough to make sure you have this place you need to be for the camera and that everyone's on the same page and the schedule for the night. And if there's a need, we try and make sure that we're ready and as far in advance as possible so that we don't run into anything major the day of.
Right.
So, yeah. So I feel like I talked for a very long time, but I hope that gave some folks some great insight into what we're doing behind the scenes to get ready for an event of this magnitude, because when you have at least 5,000 people coming to an event, you need to make sure that you're ready and things are well organized and that there's a plan, because we really take the safety of our attendees very seriously, and we want to make sure folks are taken care of.
Well, and the reason I asked you that question is, first and foremost, your biggest concern ever. And I think it is first and foremost, anytime I talk to Parks and Rec, Public Works, safety. And that's the first three words that usually are built upon.
Yes.
It's the parking, it's the route, it's the preparation for everything. It's the neighborhood that you're in doing the staging. Yep. It's their graciousness to share their streets for a little bit of time for an event that when they moved to Northport, they didn't know their street was going to be a staging area. Right. So, there's a lot of people to thank for a very short period of use time but I think they get just as much pleasure out of it too, I believe,
Yeah.
because you're up close and personal with a lot of that stuff, because the staging area, it's not quick either.
Yeah.
How long are the streets going to be closed down over there?
I believe we start staging at about 1 p.m. So it'll be for a few hours there. So 3 to 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to let people
Yep.
know.
And we do
I'm
those
sure you have
communications.
already.
We do neighbor letters. We try and let them know. Fortunately, most of the folks in that neighborhood have been used to us. They got a year off. So,
Right.
but it's kind of fun. It reminds me, I was watching the Macy's parade, and this is my dream, John. I hope you can make it a reality, but I want big
All right.
balloon. That's all I want. So my challenge, I'm putting the challenge out there to anyone listening who's like, oh man, why didn't I do the parade this year? I should have entered something. Get Laura a balloon, and I will be the happiest person. I want just a fun, it doesn't need to be as big as the Macy's ones, but just
It would be kind
it
of
would
cool
be
to see
cool.
that happen. wouldn't it?
But I was watching the parade, of course. That's a tradition. My son and I sit down and we always watch that parade every year. And we were watching, they have a big thing in the city where they're inflating, because they start inflating the day before. And I guess that is almost as much of an attraction as the actual parade itself, is people coming to watch the inflation of the floats and everything. And I just think that's so
I
cool.
would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I added it to my bucket list. So I just think it's really cool sometimes to see that behind the scenes stuff, and to see the work that goes on to, making a parade or something of this magnitude happen. There's a lot of different folks who kind of all come together, and I don't know, I find it inspiring how many people can come together to make something like this happen. I just think it's cool.
Well, and I think it's when you have one focused outcome,
Right? Yeah.
And it's you jokingly talked about our Buckeye stuff, but it's that we just put together the same type of event, and it was much easier to do when you have one goal in mind, which is success of the event. And making sure, and it's kind of funny how you went over the timeline and kind of broke things down, but I would add in that the calculations that go into it are all things that you're looking at the event and you're going, what if, and you're answering the what if before the what if occurs.
We try to. Yeah, we do our best at doing that. So,
Right. And it takes a lot of input.
It does, because
it's
people
not
see
one
things
person.
differently, right? Or someone has an experience
Yep.
that will not necessarily be your experience with that event or item or thing that happened. But it's good to get insight. And that's why, it's not just tongue in cheek, and it's not just lip service when we're saying, hey, we have a couple surveys running right now. And so when we ask the community for feedback, we're not just, we really sincerely mean it. We want to hear from the community we serve, and we want to know their input, because they're going to have an experience that we may not have had, and they might provide an insight that we may not have had or discovered without their input. So I do encourage folks. I know sometimes, I myself, every now and then, I'm like, oh, another survey, another this, but it really, truly does help. And it isn't, we're not just taking your responses and going, and secretly ignoring them and proceeding. I'm happy to show anyone what we do, but we really do take all that input and talk about it and go over them in every response that we get. So,
well, you can't make it better if you're not willing to look at it and go, what do we need to do to be sharper? It's not necessarily what you do to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's what can we do to be sharper? And the sharper that the event is, the cleaner it goes.
Yep.
And the more the public appreciates it.
There's always something that can be improved, even if the public doesn't see it, because sometimes there's things on the back end that the public may never realize, but we internally go, oh, we could have maybe communicated that better, or oh, we could have made this a little cleaner. We could have gotten that communication out sooner. I mean, there's a few different things that we look at too internally. So it's kind of really is an internal, external, let's look at the whole macrocosm of what's happening with this particular event and situation. So
absolutely. And it, when you really start looking at all these types of things, and you're talking about collectively, I had just over the last week and a half probably 30 people involved in our event. How many people are you talking? Because you're not, and I just don't want to talk core group.
Yeah.
It's the people that are actually being told, "Oh, go do this."
Yeah.
So it's not a core group of 20 people meeting.
No.
It's essentially how many people? Rough guess.
A rough guess. Okay, and this is a guess, but hundreds. I mean, there's hundreds of people involved with this to make this happen. I'd have to go back.
And that's hundreds of people looking at you and trying to figure things out and appreciating what you're doing. And at the same time, they have insight too.
Precisely.
And they're giving it along the way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have some meetings sometimes where we don't always agree with how to handle a situation, but that's okay, because that's where good conversation can come from, where good dialogue, when you have a good dialogue and you don't necessarily always agree, but you can talk about it, that's where you can really find great solutions and compromises to make a difference. And so I think that that's just part of the reason that this exercise and the pre-planning is so helpful.
Oh no, it is. It is. And you know, I with doing real estate, I'm helping a couple agents, and it's funny how you have to explain to them every transaction is not perfect.
Yep.
Every meeting is not perfect, but if you're not willing to kind of break it down, you can't rebuild it better.
Yes.
You can't make it better. You can't look at something and lock it off and say it's as good as it's going to get. We're just moving on. People won't come anymore. Because there are things that happen when you're inclusive and you're getting in. I think people get excited too. Hey, they listen to my idea. Yeah. You know, and you know, then they're not scared to have input. And that's really what makes a lot of these things nice. That's what makes a lot of these things better each year. With everything that you guys do, Poinsetta is one of them. We have the Freedom Festival, and if you guys were stagnant year after year on that, my goodness, I don't know where it would be. But thank God you're not, because things in our town are changing, and with the amount of houses that are going up, so to speak, and sales that are happening here, the population is really dictating now a lot of how you have to rethink what's happening.
Well, and COVID made us rethink things, right? So I think dealing with COVID forced us to become creative. And I will say, you know, I'm very fortunate that the team of folks I work with here in Parks and Recreation are super innovative and very creative. And they found some great solutions to still deliver and serve our community despite the challenges. So, and we actually won some awards for that innovation and creativity to still have, like, okay, we can't do the egg hunt that happened right during the time, but we can bring the eggs to your yard. And so we're going to kind of reverse it, or we found ways to do some virtual things that we hadn't done previously. And so I chuckle a little when you mention all the, I know we're experimenting a little today, but you're completely right, is that this is how we have all been forced to learn and adapt with new technology and find new ways. And I'm grateful that we're not alone. I think people are a little more forgiving because we all understand we're in this together. We're all learning the technology together, and it's growing just as fast as our community, the options for the ways in which we can do things. And I just think it never ceases to amaze me, the creativity that people can have and the ways that we can find solutions to challenges, you know.
Well, and I think we're going to need these things as things move forward. You know, you've got so many moving parts to a program. I don't know that you ever envisioned that the parade would actually be streaming live anywhere, let alone through the radio station on Facebook and YouTube.
I mean, but what fun, right? I feel very like Vanna White here. I have a hat all planned. I mean, I'm ready. It's going to be a great time.
I hate to tell you, but Carrie, when I told her that I was going to do this, she just looked at me when she was hiding from being on there. she said, well, it looks like I'm ordering elf costumes.
Oh, perfect.
Because I think she's planning on walking wherever I go with
That'll
me
be fun.
and being my tech person next to me, let alone the tech people that we have behind.
Oh, well, bless
the
her.
scenes.
Thank you.
And if we could do this real quick, I would like to pull Marie in.
Yeah.
And have Marie. Boom, Marie just popped in.
It's magic.
Marie has been working a lot with coordinating StreamYard. Can you kind of tell people what we're doing and how they can watch the parade if they aren't blessed enough to be in person, how they can watch the parade?
Well, there's going to be very many ways that you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to watch it on Facebook Live, through the Facebook event too. We're working this out, how we can stream into the event page on Facebook, but also YouTube. If you don't want to, if you're not a person that's on Facebook, you can go to YouTube, WKDW Radio's 97.5 YouTube page. And also, if you're friends of mine or if you're looking for me, I'm going to be streaming it to my Twitter account and my Facebook page and my YouTube page. So if you're out there and you're doing any kind of social media, oh yeah, and John, if we'll try to stream it to your live with John Rawlings one too. I can only stream to 8 different locations. Get that, everybody? Only 8 different locations at the same time. We are doing it this year. We're doing it for the city of Northport. We're doing it for you, the listeners to the radio station, because we all know you're visual and you want to be able to see not only Laura's beautiful face, but John's going to be interviewing.
Well, I thought it was Vanna.
John's going to be hopping on floats out there, and it's a test, only a test. That'll be the first time that we've ever done this, and so be patient with us. But we'll have RJ will be manning a camera. We're going to be zooming in and out. John's going to be manning his phone if it works okay. We're working on some sound tech with him, and then the city of Northport. You'll be doing things too, right, Laura?
We will be. So we're going to have, we'll be there. We have the soundboard. And so we're actually going to link the live stream into the soundboard at the event. So you guys will be hearing as the float entries enter the judging zone, very similar to Macy's. We describe the float, the organization that entered it, a little bit about that organization, whatever they've submitted for us. And so we just talk a little bit about that and what we have going on. So it's going to be a fantastic night and a really fun way to spotlight all of our float entries and the different organizations and folks who, make Northport the community that it is.
Yeah, and I know, John, you're going to be going, we're going to have a pre-show, and it won't be the same link. It'll be a different time. Yeah, we're going to have a separate one from 4 to 5, which is John in his elf costume, I guess.
I know. Do you have ears, John? This is an important question.
Yeah, we don't know. He's a talented guy.
I have no idea. Well, hold on. I have no idea what she's planning.
Wait,
okay.
There's more.
She's on Amazon right now.
I feel like it'll be a fun surprise, so we'll find out together. But people have to tune in to see.
Well, absolutely. And John is going to be going around and interviewing people around the area. Who knows? If you're out in the audience, you may be live on air and on camera.
Yes. This is your chance to get Northport.
Actually, if I'm out there, you're probably going to be hit up for a comment or two or a question. I'm not scared to talk to anybody, so just be ready.
We do know that, yes.
Ain't that the truth, buddy? And I'm glad that you mentioned about the Buckeyes. These two, in case the audience doesn't know, these two are really college football rivals. I mean, we are in a meeting, and John even shows them your tattoo on your arm.
John's ready.
Yeah,
he's more committed than I am, though. I don't have the tattoo.
Oh,
I don't have the tattoo.
Actually, do that again, John. I'll bring you up like this so we can all
see.
There you go.
There it is.
Go. Yeah. And for those listening on the radio, I know we're live on the radio right now. You can go to WKDW 97.5 FM Facebook page. You can go to our YouTube page, same WKDW 97.5, and to John Rawlings, live with Real Talk, I think it's called, right? Oh, how come you muted yourself?
He's muted.
He muted.
He was bragging about his
we like that
tattoo.
when he's muted, so we don't have to hear him. Okay, no, you were muted, John.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
If you go to Real Talk 97.5 FM or on Facebook, you'll find this. It's such a good time. It's always fun to interview people. It's, you know, talking with Laura and Parks and Rec, Public Works. We have city commissioners on. It's really all a great thing. We're trying to get information out into the community. We have rape and prevention with CARE. They're really excellent at trying to get the information out about the rape and prevention side, let alone the human trafficking element that we have to fight here. So we're really driven to really give insight to our community, and this is really shareable information. We would love for you to share it out there, because the more shares we get, the more people that get insight, and it's very difficult. I know that people in Northport crave information, and these are shows that are really meant to give you insight, get you going to these events, and really give you an avenue. If you're live on the air, you can ask questions and we can answer them. So go ahead, Marie.
Wait, there's more. if you're watching this on Facebook, you can share it to your friends. You can share it to a group, and it will stream on there for you. So as a community, you can start sharing it with other places out there. When you come onto the stream and you see it, share it. And I don't know, I don't see them doing watch parties anymore. Did the Facebook get rid of that? Because
I'm not sure. I didn't.
Yeah, because I have not been able to see watch parties. You used to be able to bring people on to watch it with you, all your friends. You could invite them and just sit there together and watch it. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
I'll have to check into that. But it's 4:00. We got to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is John Rawlings with Real Talk Radio 97.5 with Marie and the Laura Ansel from Parks and Rec. But we're looking forward to a great time at the parade. Come out and join us. Bring everybody in your neighborhood. Let's have a good time and celebrate together. We'll talk to you soon.
And you'll get to meet us. Bye-bye.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Don't leave, Laura. I got to
I'm not leaving.
Yeah,
I'm glued.
When you